Hey, how you doing? This is Tom, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show. And I got another very interesting radio. This is not radio you want to buy or anything. This is just an interesting radio. I got this from the Hamfest yesterday, and I saw it in the gentleman's. He had his car backed up and his trunk open, and he had some stuff down inside his trunk. And I could just barely see the radio itself. I didn't know he had the box. And I thought, that is a weird looking radio, and I'll show it to you in a second. If he doesn't want much for it, it's probably not very useful, but it's unique. And it's definitely unique, and I'll show you that in a second. Anyway, it's a Regency radio. Now, Regency made scanner radio. Now, Regency made a lot of different scanner radios, and they were pretty unique. And they did things a little differently. And I'm kind of always on the lookout of Regency scanner radios, not because they're good scanners, but because they're unique. This is called the Informant. And this is the INF-3. I think there's 5 different models, and they look somewhat alike. The functions are the same pretty much, but the form factor is a little different. And basically, let's go right to the radio. I was going to look at the box, but screw that. Let's go right to the radio. Okay, here we are. Here's the radio. Let me tilt it up. Oh gosh, of course my lighting is no good. Sorry for that. I don't know what's going wrong with my lighting, but anyway. Over here, we have the on-off, volume, and squelch. And then we have a listing of the services, I'll call it, that this thing will scan. And then we have buttons to turn on and off each of those services to scan and do some other things. We can hold on a service. We can look at the status of what is being scanned. Which one of these services you have enabled or disabled. We can delete a stored. It does have storage. It has 60 memory locations you can store a frequency in. I got to get into that a little bit, and it's really weird. And this is basically a scanner radio. This is like 1985, 87. That was pretty cool and very different at the time, but it quickly got obsolete, and I'll get into that later. You can select the state from the database it has of frequencies for that state. You have no idea what it's selected. It was whatever was available or applicable back in that time frame. Not changeable. And then you could select each one of the services, such as, I'll come over here, state police, local police, fire department, medical emergency, U.S. government, local government, business, information services, weather, and marine. So you can select any one of those and add them to the list that it's going to scan, or take them from the list temporarily. It's going to scan. And then if it stops on something, it gives you no indication of the frequency. You can quickly push save, and it will save that into your 60. And then you can use my radio where the 60 are stored and just have it scan those 60 or less stations that you've stored from the database. I hope I'm explaining this so you understand it. So anyway, the radio itself, this radio is in pristine condition. That's what caught my eye. It was not dirty, no scratches or nothing. Well, maybe the display's a little dusty, that's all. So I offered a guy $20. Oh no, excuse me. I'm so excited about this because this is really unique. I asked the guy what he was asking. He said $20, and I'm like, $20, forget it. So I said, you know, boy, it is unique. I've never seen one of these. And like I say, there's like 5 models. So I said, okay, $10. And he goes, 12. And I'm not much of a dicker, so it's like, yeah, okay, $12. And then he says, guess what? I have the manual for it, and I have the box, which you just saw. I have the box for it. So this is like all original stuff. I have no idea what it cost back in 1987. I haven't found any information on the internet yet. I didn't look very long. But anyway, so what you do, and we turn it on, and right now it is showing the state that you can select with this button here. So I'm in Florida, and the gentleman, of course, was in Florida, so he had already programmed it for Florida. So it then looks in the database for all the frequencies that it has stored back in 1987 or whatever, and it scans those in those various categories. And it's not, like I say, it's not changeable, and you don't know what the frequencies are. It doesn't display frequencies at all. So it scans, and it's now stopped on a business frequency. Actually, it's just noise in my workshop. Now it's scanning, and like I say, you can press hold to hold it on a frequency and not let it continue on. The one thing about it, besides that the database is obsolete, totally obsolete. Well, the weather is not obsolete because the weather frequencies never change. Matter of fact, I can try that. Where's weather? Okay, what's the symbol for weather? It's a lightning. Lightning. So
highs in the upper 70s.
It's working.
The Tampa climate summary for yesterday, November 9, 2019. Yesterday's high temperature was 7.
So what it's done is, I'm about to get a drink. Please stand by. What it has done is it scans all the weather frequencies and sees it gets a signal. Again, the weather frequencies, NOAA weather frequencies, haven't changed. So that still works. Those frequencies are still good. And possibly some of those other frequencies in the database are still good. I doubt it, but there might be one or two that are still good. For instance, marine might still be good because that hasn't changed much, I don't think. Matter of fact, we'll just try that. There, and now it's on marine, and it's scanning the marine frequencies only, I think. No, I take that back. The way it works is when you push a button for the various services, it either locks it out or locks it in. So and then you can go to the status button, and it will tell you, let me see if I can get it show up. It will tell you the services in use, meaning the services it's scanning. It's local police. Yeah, it's going through there pretty fast. So you can see that I've accidentally turned off a couple of them. So I can hit that again and see if see what comes up. Wish it wouldn't scan through them so fast. Local police, fire, emergency, U.S. government, local government, business, information services, and marine. So it is scanning marine right now. So you can, if you wanted to concentrate it on just marine, for instance, you can push the buttons for each of the other ones, and it will take it out of the scan list. That's how that works. That's about it. The one thing that I've seen on older radios like this is the squelch doesn't seem to work very well. It's either I have to turn it all the way down, I'll call it, to squelch. Well, I'll just show you what I'm talking about. Let me turn the volume up. Okay, it's locked on some business frequency. And I've got, like I say, I've got this squelch turned all the way, squelched, I'll call it. So if I turn it up a little bit, well, let me get to scan. How do I, okay, scan, don't, see, see that's locked on that one now. And I can't get it off, come off of that one. Let me hit, there we go. I hit hold twice and I got it off of it. So if I just barely move the squelch, well, this morning I could put it up a little higher. Last night I had to leave it at max. Okay, that's working a little, the squelch is working a little better this morning. I don't know why. Anyway, so much for the squelch. So that's basically, that's it. AC power only. And the cord is built in. There's no plugging in or anything of the cord. That's about it. Again, this is the INF3. There's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A little different configuration, and the display is a little different for each one. This, unfortunately, because you can't program any frequencies or do anything, even though this scanner is not as old as some other scanners, it's kind of obsolete because you can't change the frequencies. Even in the My Radio, where you can tell it to store one that's found, you can't dial it. There's no numeric keypad to dial in a frequency. So it's, right now, it's strictly a novelty. I mean, it's pretty useless except for weather. That's the only thing it's good for. Possibly marine. It's clear as a bell, so it's working good. It's just that fixed database makes it obsolete. So I thought I'd show it to you. It's you know, a novelty. Anyway, if you enjoyed this show, please give me a thumbs up. These are the two things I found, two radios I found at the Hamfest yesterday. I did get some free cables. There was one person, excuse me, that had, I'm sorry, that had some good stuff. That radio that I showed you in the previous video, that crank radio. And I want to thank everybody that commented on that radio and gave us good information. If you'd like to get some more information on that radio, please go back to that video and look at all the comments. Lots of good information. People told me the history of that radio, told me how it works, as far as the power. Great information. But anyway, that's what I got from that guy. I bought that for $12 also. And then he had 2 or 3 boxes of cables that he was giving away. And this right here, for instance, is a B and C cable with an adapter on the end. So I grabbed that one up. The guy standing next to me just kept picking up cables, putting in his pocket, picking them up, putting in his pocket. He must have taken 20 cables. I only took the ones that I knew I had a use for. This is a USB charging cable. So I got those two. That was my total takeaway from the Hamfest. Again, my criteria is if I find one good item, it's a great Hamfest. So it was a great Hamfest. I found 2, 3, 4 items. Alrighty, that's it. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye-bye.